Simsiloo Andersson from Sweden. I think the first game I played was actually a Monster Inc. PC game. And I don't remember when that was. I think I was like 5 or something like that. That was like my first experience playing an actual video game. And then my second game was actually Warcraft 3. And I played that for a very long time. I didn't play any other game for like 2-3 years. And then I finally like stood my ground on a game called Heroes of Might and Magic. And that was the game I played for an extreme amount of time. It was like 5 years before I got bored of that game, and I still play it from time to time, but that's the funnest memories I have when it comes to growing up, at least. Honestly, it kind of started in Heroes of Might and Magic. It was not really super competitive, but I did flame at my friends sometimes being really bad at the game. I was like, what are you doing? Why are you buying this? And so on. And from that point forward, I found something in myself where I like to competing a lot of times and find it interesting to also shit talk. That's like the funniest part of my life, always figuring out how can I be extremely sarcastic somebody, but also at the same time not going over, you know, the limit. And from that point forward, I start trash talking people, and it was like the funniest stuff I ever did. And when I was younger as well, your trash talking is like the worst thing. You're like, you can't even press the E button, noob. And that kind of has transferred into my personality these days, where I'm extremely like not trying to be an asshole, but sometimes it is just so funny to me to be like that. And I find that a very fun element of being a competitive person. I've worked with recently Penta. Before that, I was in NIP, and my first org that I represented in the PPL was the Verse Pro. That was my first org in PPL, but the first org I ever signed. The one I remember from the top of my head is Burrito, and the second one I remember was an org called Wolf, but I don't remember exactly the entire name, but it was something with Wolf. That's an interesting one. I definitely would say I started to feel like I was succeeding at being professional after I won the first LAN of the PPL. It was PPL Phase 2017 LAN, I forgot the entire name for it. That's when I started to feel like I was accomplishing something with it via Paladins and the esports. But when I started feeling like a pro, I think I started feeling like a pro when I was shitting on everybody with my pip, honestly, in the old days. I decided to try it for the nights after we had team discussions. Obviously, I wanted to stick with the team. Like, we won LAN, why would we split? I wanted to get everybody into the PPL, as I mentioned earlier, but that showed to have its issues. And from that point forward, it was pretty much a discussion from everybody. What we wanted to do, what was our future at that point. And some came to the discussion that we might not get this chance again and get into PPL. It might be once in a lifetime. Some people think it was better to us to stick together. I in that boat where I think since we were doing well, I think it was worth sticking in a longer period. But shit happened, people had disagreements, and people moved on pretty much. And since those individuals moved on, I decided to try for the nights. And since I know Cuz Cutie very well, I knew him since I was like 12. I knew him ever since the Downgate days, and since I already knew Cuz, I was like, you know what, I might as well give it a chance, because at this point, there's nothing else for me to really do when it comes to trying to commit to PML.